Hello and welcome to Mickey Art, and in this video I am upcycling. Upcycling is our challenge for this month, and if you'd like to come and play with us, join us, share what you've been upcycling using acrylic pouring, check out the Acrylic Pouring for Fun Facebook group, link in the description, and at the top of that will be a what's that thing called? A pinned post. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. So what am I upcycling today? I'm upcycling these mugs. These mugs I've had these mugs longer than I've had my husband, and we've been together 21 years. So these little beauties have survived all sorts of things, multiple moving of house, small children, medium-sized children, and now bigger than me children. And they sit in the back of the cupboard because I don't like them anymore. So I thought I'd see if I could make them look prettier and more what I enjoy. So what I've got here is some upcycled paint. If you watched yesterday's video where I painted the jug, or maybe it was yesterday's video, I don't know what order I'm putting these up in, whatever order they come up in, but these will be after the jug, I promise, so go back and have a look in the past. There's a huge amount of paint left on my paper. Being butcher paper, the paper didn't disintegrate, and I was able to pick it up and just pour it back into this jar. So I'm going to reuse this. I have shaken it, so it's basically a muddy dark colour. It's got some red in it, so it's an almost chocolatey brown. Let's see what we can do, see what it creates, and then what we can add to create something even greater. I'm going to do them one at a time, just so that I can concentrate on them, really. Just pouring a good amount. All around. See how that's it's definitely more of a chocolate brown, and it's definitely all mixed in nicely. The only thing is it has silicone in it, because the paints that I put in here had silicone, so there's a really good chance that when it dries it will have silicone all the way through to the colour underneath. But that's okay, because the colour underneath is a pleasantish colour. It sort of tones well with the chocolate brown. And I'm just going to make sure we cover that blue ring at the top. If you are from New Zealand, you probably recognise this set. It was sold in Farmers, and I would say hundreds of thousands of sets were sold. They were cheap and they were good, strong pottery. So you probably know somebody that had some, if you didn't have some yourself. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is grab another colour and dribble it. I'm not doing the handle just yet. I'm going to leave enough paint left in here to paint the handle. Once this is dry, so that I can hold it. If I need to grab it, I can grab it by the handle and it's not going to ruin anything. So what colours should we add to this? That's always a good question. The colour that I'm going to use is this. It's called pewter. It's kind of a dull, shiny grey. And all I'm going to do is dribble using a stick one single rim and just let it drain down. I'm just wondering, always wondering. It's one of the things that makes a great artist and a great scientist is wondering. I wonder what would happen if I did this. I wonder what's required next. I wonder. I just noticed that around this area is very thin on paint. So I'm just gathering some of the drip off from the areas that have larger amounts of paint and just touching those areas up for just so it can dribble down and look even. There we go. Right, so next step is a stick. Oh goodness, let's get that lid off. And just a small amount. Now, some of you are freaking out because I'm putting this on the lip of a coffee cup. And go ahead and freak out as much as you like. This paint is non-toxic and it doesn't have FDA approved because it's a lot of money per colour to get it approved. And I have been using my mugs that I have painted with this stuff for several months now. And the only problem with it is that it does eventually peel off. But then I've been using them every day and washing them in the dishwasher every day. Some people have asked me, are you going to sell your mugs? And I'm not going to sell my mugs for that reason, because the paint does eventually come off. And I'm not willing to be responsible for somebody swallowing a piece of paint. Not that it would be toxic, but because they might freak out. And I'm not excited about being rung up in the middle of the night saying, my baby daughter just stole a bit of paint off your mug. That doesn't sound like fun to me. So I'm not choosing it. Well, that's definitely looking a bit different than it did before. I like it. I do. Just using my glove. Clean the rim up a little bit. Right, let's torch it, eh? There's definitely air bubbles in this. And as I'm doing this, I'm seeing silicone coming up. But the silicone's not going to do anything other than maybe show the cup underneath. Which would be quite pretty. Yep, just plain with a few little cells. So I'm going to move that one over to the side and do the other one in the same way. I've got a bit of poster paint, poster putty, on the bottom of the mug, and just letting that hold the little shot glass on so that we don't have any balancing act problems, hopefully. All right. It's like pouring chocolate onto something. It really does feel like that. I've got so much. So much paint. Look at that. Absolutely pouring off. So grab it, pop it back up. Grab it, pop it back up. When you're doing 3D objects, I highly recommend having them on a turntable of some description that you can just see all the different sides of it. Alright. Okay, so then, as we did last time, let's put the pewter on. Let's get rid of that bit off the lip first. Oh, sorry, I'm going away from you. Done this before. Turning it so that the poured bit hides away from the camera. It'll be coming into sight shortly. Nice big long dribble line there at the beginning. Alright, there we go. Dribble, dribble, dribble. Chocolate hot pot. And I've still got about a third of this pot left. It was full when I started. I've still got about a third of it left after having done 2 mugs. Alright, so let's get that torch blowing. Can you see the dimples in the paint? That's where the silicone is. Alright. And still it's dripping. The other one's still dripping too, so not really surprised. Let me bring the other one back over. You guys can see how that silicone is opening up space so you can see all the way through. It's quite funky. I quite like it. I might be nearly out of gas. Alright, so I'm going to leave those to dry, and once they've set I will come back and show you what they look like and how the upcycling has gone. So here they are, and this one, when I did the handle afterwards, I got a dribble which I didn't notice, I didn't catch, and I'm a bit annoyed about. That's alright, it's hidden by your fingers. And hey, these are just for my own cupboard, and I like these a lot better than the boring old plain ones that they were. I do like the fact that the cells are there. It gives it some more texture than just plain brown and silver. You can't really tell, but the pewter is very matte, and maybe you can tell, the pewter is very matte and the brown is really shiny, and it gives a really lovely contrast. I really like them. So there you go. Why waste good paint when you can bottle it up and use it again? That's what I say. This one, it also has a bit of a drip thing going on, and it's right where my finger sort of sits. So I don't know, I might just, well, it's still soft enough to squish, so squish that down a little bit, and hopefully that won't pop off in the baking. So as I said, this paint is porcelain paint, and you just bake it at 300 Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes, and then it stays on, and it stays on pretty good. It's, as I say, it's dishwasher safe, and when I say it stays on pretty good, some of my original mugs are starting to lose bits of paint. This one I've just retouched up with a bit of blue just there, because the paint is starting to flake off. See this? Now, having looked at where it's flaking, it's probably to do with the silicone. The mug I didn't put any silicone in is doing really well, and is surviving beautifully. So I would say that the silicone does decrease the sticking power, decrease the strength, but it does increase the beauty, I must say. So it's up to you. Some of you won't choose to put your paint all the way up to the top, but it is non-toxic and it is very funky. I do like it. And these mugs will definitely have more interest in my cupboard now. So thank you for joining me. That was a fun way of using up paint. It's never too late to use up the paint. That's all I can say. What else is possible, and how much fun can you have pouring paint on stuff? Upcycle, guys. If you do some upcycles, let us see them, show them off to us in the Acrylic Pouring for Fun Facebook group. Pinned to the top of the group is a event. If you click on the event and go in there, you can post your photos and videos and stuff like that in there. And how does it get any better than that? You know what would be funky is to have done a pewter mug with hot chocolate pouring down the side. Oh well, how does it get any better? I like them. Hope you had fun watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys upcycle with acrylic pouring. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.